0300 this morning, TDRS picked up an automated navigation beacon broadcasting at 2-minute intervals in Neptune orbit.
This is incredible. The Event Horizon. She's come back. The Event Horizon was the culmination of a secret government project to create a spacecraft capable of faster-than-light flight. The ship doesn't really go faster than light. What it does is it creates a dimensional gateway that allows it to jump instantaneously from one point of the universe to another light years away.
Where's she been for the last 7 years, Doctor?
That's what we're here to find out. After 7 years in deep space.
There were 18 people on board this ship when it disappeared. I want them all accounted for.
Opening outer door.
It came back, abandoned.
Any crew? Negative. This place is a tomb.
But it didn't come back alone.
Captain Miller! I've got some problems here!
This ship has been beyond the boundaries of our universe. Who knows where it's been? And what it's brought back with it.
Did you hear that? What is it? The ship is reacting to us and the reactions are getting stronger.
What are you telling me? That this ship is alive?
Oh, I have such wonderful things to show you.
Oh my God!
It knows my secrets. It knows my fears.
Vacate. I want off this ship.
You can't leave. She won't let you.
God help us.
Hey up, it's Steve from the old Yorkshire Geek. I was caught unawares there, wasn't I? I was caught unawares when the trailer ended. I was busy looking at something else. I'm hopeless, aren't I? Anyway, so there you go. So welcome to Friday Night Appointment with Fear. This week, what are we on? We're on number 53 now. This week, we're doing Event Horizon from 1997. Really good film. I've watched it twice today. Once with a director's and producer's commentary, once just the film by itself. And it was really good both times. So let's have some. Before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell, join us in the chat, as has Ben Wilson 75844 over on Twitch, saying hi. I just follow you on Twitter. Hope you'll follow it back. Whatever, I will later. I can't do it just yet, can I? Anyway, speaking of Twitch, we're live on Twitch, we're live on YouTube, and we're live on Rumble, so you can join us on there if you want to. Later on, I'll be putting it onto Spotify, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. I'm also on Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hang on, just moving stuff. There's the Blu-ray that I've watched today of the Event Horizon. Hang on. Oh, cracky, reaching round. Where were I? Oh, yes, Facebook. Links in the description, as I have links to my 2 books, Mercury Rapids, light-hearted sci-fi action adventure about UFOs and stuff, and Silent Predator, a short horror novella about, I'm going to say UFOs, about, although UFOs are mentioned in it, about big cats eating people in North Yorkshire. They're just a bit of fun. They're an Amazon Kindle and paperback. And as I said last time, or whenever, I've reduced the price of Mercury Rapids. It was quite expensive. It's still quite expensive, but not as expensive. A couple of bucks or pounds off. So you can give it a whirl. But anyway, right. So, Event Horizon. So, 1997, the third film from Paul W.S. Anderson. I think he may have just been Paul Anderson at the time. I could be wrong. Directed by him, written by Philip Eisner. I don't know if he's related to the Disney Eisner fella. I don't know. Does it say? No, I don't. Anyway. produced by Lawrence Gordon, Lloyd Levin, and Jeremy Bolt, who was a long-time conspirator, I suppose you could say, with Paul W.S. Anderson. They did Soldier and some other stuff. Starring Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill, Kathleen Quinlan, Jolie Richardson, Jason Isaac, Sean Pertwee, amongst others. We'll get to them. And a cool score from the late, great Michael Kamen. It had a budget, which was a pretty hefty budget for the time, really, of $60 million. But box office. It wasn't a box office hit, but it's kind of become a cult classic over the years. As I said, it was Paul W.S. Anderson's third film. I think after this, he went on to do Soldier with Kurt Russell, which I've never seen. I never got around to watching that film. I don't think I have, anyway. And then obviously he'd go on and do the Resident Evil films, wouldn't he? Right, so let's get on with the film, shall we? As usual, I'll not be. Hang on, let me get rid of that. I'll make that full screen. Just bear with me. Right. I'll not be playing the film because I'll get into trouble, obviously. So we'll go through it in a series of stills. I'll talk about it and see if I can remember any of the things I've learned about this film as we go. What else? I'm going to say something else I forgot. I might play the odd snippet. Win Grace is here. Yay! Win Grace is here. I can. Oh, so is Joshua Kanapke. Winggrace says, I can't remember which movie it was now, but I remember one VHS I watched all the time used to have this trailer before it. Oh, very good. And Joshua Kanapke says, yo, peeps. Hello, welcome to the show. Hang on, I can do my thing again, can't I? I can do my Def Leppard thing. There we go. Any excuse to do the old stage fright intro. Right, let's get on with this film. I make myself titchy tiny and we will look at the film. Right, help if I added it, wouldn't it? There we go. Right, off we go. I haven't muted it either, I don't think. Let me make sure. Mute. Rock on, indeed. You see me over Joshua there doing the horns. Oh dear. Although Def Leppard, not exactly, super heavy metal, are they? But I like them. Right, off we go. There's the old Paramount. It's a Paramount film, so it's like a studio picture. And they did throw quite a lot of money at this. I think they expected more from it than what it actually made. But it's become a cult classic. There's the Paramount Mountain. Well, it does a thing that I like to see in films. When they mess about with the studio logo, they don't just like fade in or dissolve into the film. It's actually like moves over, look, into space, which is quite cool. I like it when they do stuff like that. Winger says, this mountain and stars reminds me of Lower Decks. Well, yes, that's a Paramount thing as well, isn't it? Anyway, off we go. Right, here we go. Right, stars, space, the final frontier and all that. And then we go into, we're supposed to be heading into a black hole, apparently. It's not a very good effect. It is Paul. I'm going to say I thought this was just a Paul Anderson film. But after, I don't know when, but he decided to call himself Paul W.S. Anderson at some point. So he didn't get mistaken for the other Paul Anderson, whose initial I forgot. But never mind. Who's a more highbrow director. Right, Event Horizon. And what they're doing here, they're trying to make it snazzy by the titles zipping into the black hole like that. But, it's a bit of a naff effect. Mr. Anderson, as Wingrace thinks is Agent Smith. Speaking of Agent Smith, I know he did play Agent Smith. He played Morbius, but or was it Morpheus? What is it? Is it Morbius or Morpheus? I can't remember in the Matrix. Morpheus, isn't it? Joshua says, we'll never get into this film if we keep talking to people. This intro feels a bit like the Lost in Space movie from round the same time. I can't actually remember how that one begins. I did like that film though, apart from the alien, you know, the little cute alien thing that got on my nerves. But the film itself was fine. But it's got a terrible sound mix on the DVD. I haven't got it on Blu-ray. I've got it on DVD somewhere. The sound mix is terrible. It's one of those films where you've got to have it really loud for the dialogue, and then action starts. You've got to lower it down because it'll blow your face off. It's one of those sort of films. Joshua says, I like that Lost in Space movie. Haven't revisited it in many years. Morpheus because dreams. All right. Wyngrace is brainy. Right, Sam Neill, Kathleen Quinlan, Jolie Richardson, they're all disappearing off into the distance. Jack Noseworthy, he plays a character called Justin. Higher billing than Jason Isaacs. Who'd have thunk it, eh? Sean Pertwee, son of the late, great John Pertwee, the third Doctor, and Wurzel Gummidge. Yeah, come on, let's get on with it. John Mollo, he did some other things, didn't he? See if I can find it now. Another famous film, and I can't remember what it was. It might have been The Matrix. I can't remember. I'm trying to find the bloody thing here now. I'll just type it in. I'll type it in because it's bothering me now. They said it during the during the commentary. John Mollo, British costume designer. Right. Oh, he did Star Wars. Oh, there we go. He did Star Wars. I wasn't thinking of that one though. No, he died in 2017. Anyway, yes, he did costume design for Star Wars and what else? Let's have a look. Alien as well. Did the costume design for Alien, Outland. Probably they've all got a similar aesthetic, I suppose. Greystoke, Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. Great film. I love that film. What else have I heard of? Oh, that's about it, really. And some others. The Jungle Book from 1994, which is my son likes that film. That's the one with I forgot his name now. Is it Brandon Lee? Brandon Lee in it. You know, Jason Scott Lee, not Brandon Lee. Jason Scott Lee as Mowgli. My son likes that film. I don't think I've ever sat and watched it. Anyway, I digress. Joshua says, did watch Lost in Space recently with my daughter. Still fun. I haven't seen it for a while. Corrected himself there. Lost in Space. Right, anyway, now we've got that out of the way. John Mollo. Don't know him. Adrian Biddle. Always makes me smile, that name, for some reason. Always think of Rowan Atkinson. You know, he says words like Biddle, doesn't he? Imagine him saying that. Come on, get on with it. Right, so directed by Paul Anderson. Right, so we get a bit of history to start with. 2015, first permanent colony established on the moon. I remember it well, do you? So 20. Oh no, I missed a bit. Let's go back. That again. First permanent colony established on the moon, and then in 2030, I think it's 2032, commercial mining begins on Mars. So not long to go now, only 9 years, and that'll happen under the auspices of King Elon Musk of Mars, King Elon the First of Mars. Then 2040, deep space research vessel Event Horizon launched to explore boundaries of the solar system, and then it disappears. Come on, tell us. She disappears without trace beyond the 8th planet, Neptune. And then it says something like the worst space disaster ever. I bet it ain't. Then it does a... come on, there we go. An Escape from New York reference there. 2047, now. Escape from New York, didn't it? Did it? Which I think it said... Did it say 1997? Now. Escape from New York. Another cool film, right? We open up. Wyngrace, the 8th and final planet, Neptune. The last major planet, or whatever. There are lots of planets. They're just called, other things, aren't they? Minor planets, dwarf planets, trans-Neptunian objects, and stuff like that. Wyngrace doesn't like that. Pluto's still a planet, dadgummit. It's not. It's the king of the Kuiper Belt. Anyway, I say, if we were calling them all planets, then the solar system would have like 1 billion planets, wouldn't it? It would. Because there's objects out there that are bigger than Pluto, I think, out in the Kuiper belt. But anyway, whatever. I'm not getting into that argument. Right, so we open up on, speaking of planets and asteroids, here we see an asteroid. I don't know if it's a CG one or if it looks CG, doesn't it? This film has got a nice mix of model work, practical effects and CG. I think the CG mostly is used for floating things, zero gravity and all that, objects, and a bit of enhancements, but they do a lot of model work. But anyway, we're here at Neptune. There you go. That's the event horizon there. Cool model. The loads, I think they said there'd various sizes of models for this ship. And I think the one at the end that blows up at the end, I think they said that was from like 70 feet long. With that. But anyway, this is the event horizon. So anyway, so we moved down it. Very reminiscent to me, especially this middle bit of the Cygnus, the USS Cygnus in the black hole, designed by, can't remember, either Harrison Ellenshaw or Peter Ellenshaw, or maybe both. I can't remember, but it kind of reminds me of that. Anyway, so we move around the ship, and then we go inside. We see CG objects floating about. I wouldn't mind an Eagle Moss of this. Yeah, this and the Lewis and Clark as well, which we'll see in a bit. So it's a cool design. I like it. It was based, according to the chaps that made the film, on Notre Dame Cathedral. They said they got pictures of Notre Dame Cathedral and chopped it up and tried to make a spaceship out of out of the bits and bobs of Notre Dame, and they did quite well, didn't they? Anyway, we've got some CG objects floating about, watches and cups and pads and stuff like that. There we go. Then we cut to a room. I think this is the bridge. And then we see this chap. I think this is Sam Neill. Can't really tell. But he's screaming. And then we come out of Sam Neill's eye. He wakes up in bed. There he is. He's had a nightmare. Poor Sam. He's playing Bill Weir. By the way, there's some, in my brain, tenuous references to Stargate in this. When we see the gravity drive activated, it looks like a Stargate. And he's obviously called Weir, who Elizabeth Weir was the leader of the Atlantis expedition in Stargate Atlantis. So that's my tenuous connection. Anyway, so here he is. There's his wife. Pictures on the wall behind. In the mouth, in the mouth of madness, out of the eye of the beholder. Yes. He does a good. He's good at his thing into his Sam Neill. He's screaming. It's not really a scream. It's just a yell in it. He does. But he does one of those in this film. Anyway, he's woke up from a nightmare. There, he's looking at his wife who has passed away. She committed. She self-deleted. That's what you've got to say, ain't it, on YouTube these days? Can't say the S word or the K word or the M word. She self-deleted. Anyway. So he's remembering her. He's missing his missus. So he goes over to his sink. He's having a shave. And then we get the first jump scare. Yeah, that's made me jump anyway, because he's just doing this, and as he brings the razor up, because he's a proper man. He's using a blade razor. We get a jump scare in a minute. There we go. He does that, and then that thing goes real loud noise. Made me jump. His blinds are opening, and then he's at the window. And we see he's upside down. Yes, that's another one you could say. Shuffled off this mortal coil. He's the Antichristo, Yes, he is. He is in the Omen. They don't call it Omen 3 for some reason. It's just The Omen, the final chapter, isn't it? The Omen. Which is okay. It's not the best, is it? It's not the best. But yeah, shuffled off this mortal coil, pushing up the daisies, stuff like that. That's what you got to say, innit? You can't say the actual words these days on YouTube. He's fucking staffed it. Sorry. Swearing again. I swore on a video yesterday as well. Anyway, so we do a pullback, and apparently this was not tricky, but it took a lot of space. It was filmed at Pinewood, on the James Bond stages at Pinewood, and almost totally, apart from some video bits we'll get to. And this shot here, seems like a simple shot, but actually needed a really long dolly track, a 60-foot dolly track, to do this pullback. So we pull really far back. And we see he's on a space station orbiting Earth. And apparently, the budget, a third of the film's effects budget, went on this space station, apparently, because they kept having to go. They kept getting the shots back. And Paul W.S. Anderson and Jeremy Bolt kept sending it back, saying, "Oh, no, we don't want it like that. We want it like this." And the fella that did these effect shots left had to take a year off because this effect shot broke him. It seems like a pretty simple effect shot, really, doesn't it? Just a pull back of a space station. But it's a really big model, apparently. Really, really big. It's cool. Oh, no, you see, is it Elon Musk Starship there? Docked. Anyway, we're at, there we go, Daylight Station, low Earth orbit. LEO, as they say in the business, over the Sinai Peninsula. There, so that's the Red Sea, I think. If we pull back a bit further, does it show us? Never mind. So if we go over here, if you go down there a bit, I've been over that side. I've been to Egypt. Not been on that side though. Anyway, never mind. Right, where were we? So off he goes. Right, so we're going on to the Lewis and Clark now, which is a rescue ship. It's on its way to Neptune. There we go. And he didn't like this shot, apparently, did Paul W.S. Anderson. And it does look a bit hokey. The camera motion, it makes it look a bit iffy, as you see. When it comes round here, hey, look. It's fine, but it doesn't look natural, does it? It looks a bit stiff. It does to me, anyway. So I wasn't happy with that. Anyway, this is the Lewis and Clark, a rescue ship. So they're getting ready to set off to Neptune. So they're getting everything ready. Obviously, Sean Pertwee plays Smithy, the pilot. Got his dog soldiers beanie on there, ready for when he does dog soldiers in a few years. I can't see him, but over on this side, there's Justin, and there's the lovely Jolie Richardson as Lieutenant Stark, but not the Game of Thrones Starks. Anyway, you can tune a piano, but you can't tune a nep. I don't get that. I don't get that. What's a nep? I'm sure that's really clever, but me being an idiot, I have no idea what it means. Plus, I'm stupid and I'm rubbish at jokes, especially clever ones. Anyway, right, so they're getting ready to go to Neptune. Obviously, Smithy's not happy. Apparently, they've all been pulled off leave, by the way. They've all been pulled off leave. Joshua's here. Well, they're all bloody Joshua's, are they? Josh Temple's here. Welcome to the show. But you can't tune. Neptune. Yeah. Tell it. Say I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I am. I'm so dense. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying now. Yes, they've all been pulled off leave because it's round about Christmas time, apparently. Or not far off. And there was supposed to be... there was actually a scene that were written. I don't know if they shot it. They may have shot it. I don't know. Of this crew doing another rescue before this one. Another rescue mission. And then I presume them, being told you got some leave and then them being pulled off leave. So it'd be nice to see those. Deleted scenes, but Dear, all these Joshes are going on about how what a cool name Josh is. Oh dear. Anyway, so Smith is saying he wants to go to Mars because at least there's women on Mars. Because obviously by 2047 we've got a colony on Mars. And what's happening with her neck there? Bloody hell, she got some form of alien egg inside. Anyway, there's Lawrence Fishburne as the Captain Miller. So he's saying, you know, they get told where to go, so that's where they're going. So they're prepping the ion drive to get them there. It must go pretty fast. It's obviously not a light speed drive, but it gets them there pretty fast, about 50 days ish. But so they've got to go into stasis, or as they say in this film, stasis. Don't say stasis, they say stasis. I don't understand people who say data, for God's sake. Anyway, they're going to stasis. So they're getting ready. There you go, stripping off, getting ready. Obviously, he's the stranger amongst the crew. He's the Ripley of the crew, if you know what I mean. From Aliens. He's the consultant. So he's trying to introduce himself, but saying, you know, we're on the time, we're on the clock. So they're getting ready to go into stasis. All this going off. There we go. The iron drive fires would be taking about 30 Gs, and if they weren't in the tanks, they'd get liquefied. So that's where they're going. So off they go. There we go. And then I think it says 57 days later or something. I might have missed it. Might have gone past it. 56 days later, they arrive at Neptune. This must be one of Neptune's moons. I can't remember the names of Neptune's moons. Is it Miranda? No, there's another one. I can't remember. It might be Miranda. I can't remember. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Get mixed up with Neptune and Uranus. Forgot to say it. Triton. That's what I'm thinking of. Triton. I bet it's Triton. Is Miranda one of Neptune's moons, or did I just make that up? No, it isn't. Never mind. Or maybe it is. I don't know. More moons of Neptune. Let's have a list. Come on, show us a list. Don't make it there. Triton nearly. Oh no, there's loads of little ones. So what's Miranda a moon of? Is that a moon of Uranus? That's bothering me now. Miranda moon, or is it one of Saturn's? See, I'm supposed to know all about this stuff. It's Uranus is Miranda. Anyway, right. Sorry, was he going by Lawrence yet in this movie? Yes, it says Lawrence Fishburne in the credits, not Larry. I think I don't know. I think the last time I saw him as Larry Fishburne was Nightmare on Elm Street 3, and but that was like 84 or something. No, after that one, 86 or something, wasn't it? 87. About 10 years before this. I love Reddy because he was still Larry. Oh, well, Larry in that. But Belushi was still going by James instead of Jim. Oh, very good. Very good. And I love the Futurama joke that they renamed Uranus because of its inappropriate jokes, but the new name was Urectum. Damn near killed them. Uranus should have been Sailus. I don't know. Is that another god? I don't know. Or is that some medical reference, an anatomic reference, like Epididymis? No idea. As I said, I'm an idiot. Right, anyway, here we go. The Lewis and Clark. I always say Lois and Clark. I was thinking Superman and Lois. Lewis and Clark arrives. A bit of an alien homage, seeing the empty seats, and then Weir wakes up in his tube. He's the only one that's got a sticker on. Maybe it's because he's, you know, the new guy. But, he wakes up, and the first one to wake up, and he gets out of his his tube. What's this? Some kind of tube? Is that the Roman name for Uranus? Consistency should have been continued. Yeah. Yes, it should, shouldn't it? Yeah. Yes, because they're all Roman, aren't they? Not Greek, apart from Uranus. Maybe they're just sat giggling when they gave it that name back in 1830, whatever, or late 1700s when Uranus was discovered. Although it is technically a naked eye object, you can see it with the naked eye on perfect conditions. The only thing consistent in our procedures is the inconsistency, pretty much. Yeah. Anyway, right. So it's wondering about puffing his chest out. By the way, as he's stripped to the waist, so he's giving it all that. Look how healthy I am. And he hears voices. There we go. I'm so alone. So he goes to investigate. We've got another jump scare as Cooper's bunk slid open. But he hears somebody calling to him. He goes to the bridge. There we go. Goes to the bridge. Sees his Mrs. Claire. That's her name. Sitting in the pilot's seat of the Lewis and Clark. He says to him, Billy, and he turns the chair round. And say, I've gone too far. Tell you. Turns the chair around, and she's sitting there with her eyes open, and then gets a hand on his shoulder, and he looks round. She's no eyes. Apparently, they filmed it. She had white contact lenses in, and they didn't like the look of that. They thought, well, everybody's done white contact lenses, zombies and stuff. So they CG'd, empty eye sockets in. And it looks pretty good. Wingress says, I feel this movie could also fit into the Babylon 5 universe. Yeah, why not? Or The Expanse, perchance, or any number of series like that, or films. I suppose Blade Runner as well, or even Alien. It could be in the Alien universe, couldn't it? I could see that, says Joshua, a connection to the Shadows. Well, yes, it could be, couldn't it? The wherever it's got to. Although I think I get like Lovecraftian vibes of where it's been, of where through the black hole is some other dimension, or the universe is darker and scarier than we can perceive, and our brains can't handle it. But anyway, there we go. Oh, there you go. She says she's waiting for him, and then he actually wakes up again. It's another false wake up thing. He's already had one, hasn't he? This is his second one, and he actually does wake up then in his tube, and they'll say, right, "You're fine, you're fine." And this is Cooper. He's I don't actually know what he does. Does stuff. I think he's like a mechanic sort of thing. A fixer-upper, and he offers him a coffee. And Sam Neill is a bit of a knobhead in this film. He just like, there's no thanks. He says, well, suit yourself. So he offers it to Jolie Richardson. Says, do you want something hot and black inside you? Yeah. How about some coffee? So anyway, there we go. This is the only bit that were filmed outside, that were filmed in the Pinewood Gardens. It's a party, Denny's party, it says. This is the son of Kathleen Quinlan's character, whose name I've forgotten. So I'll have to look it up. Peters. She's a medical technician. She's watching the birthday party of her son, who's disabled. Is in a wheelchair, can't use his legs. And apparently, she's had to leave her son over Christmas. She's with She's obviously separated from his father because she called him her ex, and he's taking care of the son. Lawrence Fishburne does apologise, says, I did try to find somebody else, but it was so short notice he couldn't find anybody, and he apologises to her. Anyway, so there you go. That's what I'm saying. I did try to find a replacement, but he couldn't. But she says it's fine. Smithy comes in and tells him in a couple of hours they'll be arriving at Neptune, and all the boards are agreed 5 by 5. She thinks she's I forgot her name in in Aliens. Feral, isn't it? Ferro. I don't know, whatever. Right, so he introduces all the crew to Weir, and so he's got to now tell them why they're going to Neptune, because it's all top secret. Farrow. Oh, there we go. I've got an autograph. She's a really nice person. Yes, fat lot of good that apology turns into for Pete as well, yeah, and for the rest of the crew as well. But obviously they don't think they're gonna die, do they? But spoilers, most of them do. Right, so that's where they're introducing people, telling them what they're doing. Peter's medical technician, pilot Mr. Smith, and DJ. He says he deals with trauma. That's Jason Isaacs. Hello to Jason Isaacs, which you've got to say, haven't you? That's Cooper. Obviously, he's the captain. I think Justin's the engineer. So that I was telling him taking off leaves. He's got to explain why they've gone past the outer reach, as he describes it. So that's where he tells them that they've intercepted a radio transmission from the event horizon, and they don't believe him because the story is that the event horizon blew up, but that's not true. It just disappeared. So this is what he's telling them. So they don't believe him. So he's telling them that because it was top secret with the event horizon, a top secret mission using to test a faster than light engine, which was the gravity drive, and they were going to go to Proxima Centauri, which is the nearest star to Earth, apart from the sun, 4 light years away, and they're supposed to go there. But obviously, it all went wrong. I presume when they disappeared, they waited a while, because they'd have to wait 4 years, wouldn't they? If they arrived at Proxima Centauri almost immediately, and they sent a message back to Earth saying, we've arrived, they'd have to wait 4 years, wouldn't they, for that signal to arrive at Earth? But so maybe they waited 4 years and then decided, no, they're gone. I don't know. It doesn't explain. Anyway, so he's explaining wormhole travel using the old, what's the shortest distance between 2 points, a straight line. No, it isn't. It's 0. So he uses that. He's explaining how it works using technobabble. There you go. So he uses one of Smithy's pinups of 2047. I don't know who she is. And he uses it to with the old pen through the paper to explain how a wormhole works. Blah blah blah. We all know that. We're all into that sort of stuff. Oh, by the way, the t-shirts that they've got on, it's got all their details on. Instead of dog tags, they're wearing t-shirts. It doesn't really make sense, does it? Because a t-shirt can get dirty or torn or whatever. There's dog tags, they're there hanging around your neck, aren't they? Made of metal. But anyway, so they've got all their information on the blood type and all that, and what they do. So it says there, look, engineer, I can't bloody read it. Engineer, search and rescue, it says for Justin. Anyway. Good thing Kirk didn't wear his info on a shirt. Yes, because I was getting torn, isn't it? Anyway. So this is telling them that it just disappeared on its way to Proxima Centauri. And they don't know where it's been. And it just appeared again. So that's why they've gone to Neptune. And then he plays a noise that the transmission that they got back. I'm going to have to unmute it now because it's a Star Trek noise. Well, it sounds like it to me. Anyway, so let's have a listen. too far, not far enough, whatever. It's the whale probe, isn't it, from Star Trek 4, that noise. That's what it is. That's what it is. Anyway. That's what I thought when I heard it. Yes, the whale probe. Yes, it is. Anyway. That's the last, that's the message that they got from the Event Horizon. Some weird noise. So the whale probe is on its way. But there's also some words in there. And Jason Isaacs says, DJ says, it sounds like Latin, and he listens to it and it sounds like liberate me, which means save me or whatever. There we go. Listen to it again. There we go. Liberate me or save me. Or whatever. Right, so they're arriving at Neptune. Or maybe it's that deep sea sound from the Wi-Fi's last night. I haven't watched that one yet. I'm going to get round to it. But stuff like that's interesting on the Wi-Fi's. Then like skyquakes and stuff like that, weird noises, trumpet sounds and stuff. It's all weird, isn't it? The universe is a strange place. Right, so they're coming in. Apparently, the Event Horizon isn't. It's technically, I don't think it's orbiting Neptune. It's like high in the atmosphere of Neptune, so it's like still technically in the clouds. So they're heading in upper ionosphere. There we go. They're flying in, and they're getting there, but all the clouds around them. Pardon me. They can't see it. She's trying to hail the Event Horizon, and you know, they're right on top of it, and then just as the clouds part, we're going to see it now. Go on, showers. There we go. It just comes through the. Here you go. They're right there in front of the Event Horizon. And you can see it's a big ship. It's a big ship compared to the Lewis and Clark. Right, so they've arrived, and then it shows us how big the Event Horizon is compared to the Lewis and Clark. There you go. There you go. Oh, you can't see it, Lewis and Clark. For me, now you can. There we go. That's the Lewis and Clark. That's the Event Horizon. It's a big ship. There's a thing that happens at the end of the film, which I'll get to. We see another rescue ship arrive. Spoilers, and it casts a shadow over the Event Horizon, or this part of it. And I'm thinking, how big's that ship? Why did they send that rescue ship? It must be huge. It casts this huge shadow. Anyway, whatever. We'll get to that. Right, so they've arrived. What they've got to do next? So they're going to fly around. They fly down this is the central corridor. They've separated the drive section from the crew section for safety, I suppose. And they arrive at a docking port, the main docking port, but which for some reason is number 13 in Roman numerals to give it that Gothic look, I suppose. But so they're going to dock there, and there we go. The latch on, and send out the umbilical. She's doing readings on the ship, and she gets life readings. Does it show us in a minute? There we go. A bioscan. She says it's all over the ship, so that's a clue, isn't it? As to what's happening. Bio readings all over the ship. I just don't understand why, but we find out later. Right, so I think 3 of them go over to the Event Horizon in space suits. They don their suits. Obviously, Sam Neill wants to go, but Miller says, "No, we need you here for now." So, right, they're getting ready to go over in their snazzy space suits. Hang on. For safety, literally nothing in this movie appears to be for safety. Exactly, yes. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Right, why are there spikes everywhere? I know. What were you thinking when you designed it, weird. You know what I mean, for safety. It can be jettisoned, can't it? In the drive section in an emergency. Right, so they're getting ready to go aboard. Oh, he does a daft thing here. Let's see if it shows it. Right, you see Justin there. He's got this this line connected to him there. You can just see it there. And as they start going down, you see Cooper here. He steps over the line. Just watch there. Can you see it? Yes, you can. Watch, you ready? Very good. Steps over the line. So he's got that line going between his legs. And I'm thinking, if anything happens now, if something grabs hold of Justin and drags him away or whatever, there's something happens, that line's going to go up and cut Cooper in half, innit? So speaking of safety, I bet their safety records, I bet they've got one of those so many days since last accident. I bet it's never on 0. Anyway, right. But this ship was built by the same group from Cabin in the Woods. Yes, I bet it was. Must have been high on absinthe. Yes, because it's gothic. Right, so off they go. Right, they're going over, floating over. Got some, pretty good zero gravity scenes. By the way, the Event Horizon and the Lewis and Clark seem to have gravity. They don't explain, how these ships have gravity. I don't know. They must have gravity plating. Cable cutting somebody in half. What is this ghost ship? I know. Best bit of that film, isn't it? Best bit of that film. The beginning. Right, so they're going over to the Event Horizon, to the airlock, and they open it up. And it's all, it's like something off the Destiny of Stargate Universe, isn't it? This unlocking mechanism. Should have a keynote to go and check things out. But anyway, they go aboard. We see they're in the central corridor, connecting corridor, bits and bobs floating about, all CG. And it's really cold. Apparently, there's water floating about, and there's crystals and all that. So Justin's heading to engineering, and the others are heading to the crew section. And then we notice these explosive devices that are set in at distances apart, so they can blow up the central corridor. There you go. In an emergency, they destroy the central corridor and split the ship in half. I wonder if this is like Chekhov's explosives, aren't they? Yes, that was a scene. Well, not to be missed, I think. Talking about the ghost ship scene. Right, so who's this now? This is I think this is Peters. She's Kathleen Quinlan, who's in medical. Nobody in there. There we go. Not found anybody yet. Justin heads to the basically the engine room where the gravity drive is. So he opens it up. There we go, in this big washing machine thing. Apparently, it's to maintain the magnetic fields or something. I don't know. That's it. That's the excuse of it. It's just a big spinning, scary cylinder. And you'd have thought someday they got chopped up in that, wouldn't you? At some point. But they don't. Because it's all blades and spinning stuff and all that. You'd have thought somebody's going to come a cropper in there, but they don't. So it finally gets to in a minute, to the gravity drive. I think they're on the bridge now. Yes, they're entering the bridge now. Is Peters. He says there's a bit of blood. I can see a little bit of blood. There you go. There. And then she walks by, all these lights up. You see lots of blood. Scary Cylinder is a great name for a low budget horror film. Yes, it is. And this place is a tomb. Love that line. Yes, it says that. Yeah. It is a tomb. It's more than that. It's a cathedral of death. Anyway, where are we now? So, it's going into the where the gravity drive is, and this is all apparently. We'd seen crystals and stuff of water and other fluids, but this is, I think it's coolant to something, so it's still liquid. So this is sloshing about. Not the best CG. I mean, it's 1997. Not that you know, CG is still kind of in its infancy, photorealistic CG, but it's fine. It's fine. Look as he walks past. Look, you know, it's fine. But anyway, so he puts the lights on, and then we see. Minute. Yeah, no, he hasn't done it yet. So, she's on the bridge. She's found the ship's log, which has a console all of its own, made up of what look like CD players from cars. You know, car CD players. What it looks like. Because she presses the button and the CD pops out. Because it's the future. It's the future. Everything's on CD. Anyway, she gets that out. It doesn't want to come out, but she does get it eventually. Oh, and then she sees her body. Hang on. There we go. Come on. As she pulls it out, a body appears behind you. See it there, look, floating behind her. Come on, pull the thing out then. Dagnammit. She turns around. There we go. You see a dead body and there's no eyes. It's a thing. It's a thing in this film, not having eyes. But they do it several times. They show us several times people with no eyes for some reason. And they'll say, "What happened to his eyes?" And Jolie Richardson says, "Explosive decompression." But DJ says that doesn't happen with that thing. There you go. That doesn't do that. Looks like an animal did it or whatever. But as we learn later on, he probably did it to himself. Sounds like a Cube knockoff. You know that scary cylinder. Yeah. We were on about Cube, weren't we? The other day. So I've only seen the first one and it's pretty good. Anyway, there you go, Corpsicle. Right, so. Oh, I'll be back to Justin in the gravity drive room. He's scanning for life forms using his laser that he's borrowed off the alien set. Or a, was it the Who or Deep Earth? I think it was the Who, wasn't it? That they used the laser for the first Alien film. Was it the Who or was it Deep? I can't remember now. The other one. My brain stopped working. Who did Dark Side of the Moon? Pink Floyd. Was it Pink Floyd? Anyway, whoever, one of them. Anyway, puts the lights on eventually. There we get us look at the gravity drive. Don't know why he's designed it to look like that. Was it supposed to look kind of, you know, though it's less technology than it is magic, I'm guessing. You know, it's supposed to be like a megalithic machine. That's how I'd describe it. Like I said, something that you might find in Lovecraft or something like that. But that's how he's designed it. Anyway, it all turns around and all it aligns, and then all this comes to life. A wormhole forms. There we go. We see that happening. It all comes to life, and then we see a wormhole form in the middle, just like in Stargate. Pink Floyd, yes. It came to me eventually. Eyes are windows to the soul. No eyes equals no soul. Oh, so people that have had accidents, they have had no souls, especially the ginger, apparently. But I was just saying the last stream, yeah, I want more Cube. Yeah, we were on about it, weren't we? And must have been on Wednesday. Must have been on Wednesday night when we were doing the news, talking about the Cube films. Can't remember how I got onto that. I think I was talking about Splice, wasn't I? Victor Natale. Is it Victor Natale? I think I've just seen a ghost. A shadow person. Just look round. I'm not kidding. Just look round my door. Unless it's my son. I'll just check. Just bear with me. I've got the willies now. Genuinely. I got scared then. I just saw somebody look round my door, my living room door there. A dark, defined shape. Oh, got the chills. Anyway, right. Where were we? And I was saying, wasn't I, not so long ago, I was saying, I said this house is haunted, but things haven't happened for a long time, and as soon as I said that, stuff starts happening again. First time I've seen anything for ages. But now I've got the willies now. Anyway, right, where were we? Yes, shivers. The ghost could at least give you a sub and a like. Yes, it could. It should. Bloody things. Maybe I should just get good at doing this stuff. Anyway. Right, where were we? Oh, aye, this star is at the Stargate now. So there we go. It goes and does a not the best liquid effect, is it? I mean, Stargate itself came out before this, didn't it? Was Stargate 94? I think it was, wasn't it? So they could have got some tips how to do a watery effect, but never mind. By the way, they've lost his feed because it's activated, the wormhole. It's interfering with his camera. Anyway, so he gets pulled in. There he goes, going in to the wormholes. Obviously going to Abydos. But Cooper's going to go to the rescue. Say Justin's in trouble. There he goes. He's gone in. Luckily, he's got his line on him. I think he was the only one that had a line on him, don't he? Must be a long line. I don't think any of the others did, but luckily Justin did for some reason. Don't know why. So anyway, so he's gone to wherever. Yes, and as that's happened, the gravity drives emitted a burst of energy. Hang on. Speaking of which, you put so much personality and effort into your content, and I came across an AI channel like 1 million subs, and the voice sounds terrible. Maybe I should try that then. I should use that voice thing. Remember that I did that short, that Lower Decks, because when I had me cold, I did that Lower Decks with a text to speech thing. I should use that, shouldn't I? For everything, or become a VTuber. Anyway, whatever. It's just a hobby. Where were we? Yes. An energy wave is emitted and it starts making everything blow up. Luckily, it doesn't make all the explosives blow up. Thankfully, but it sends this energy wave out, so there's all sparks and stuff, and then it hits the Lewis and Clark. I still keep wanting to say Lois and Clark. There we go. Loads of sparks and pyrotechnics going off. Yes. Friday night point with fear in hot tubs. Yes, that'd do it, wouldn't it? Get me in a hot tub watching scary films, all oiled up with my candles. I've got some candles lit back there. You can't see them. Never mind. Got my candles lit. Look, can't see from my fat head. Which way are we? Anyway, they're down there. My candles. And there is four candles. That's a two on his joke. Where were we? Right, yes. Where were we? Pyrotechnics and Sean Pertwee getting covered in sparks. And they were saying in the commentary that the actors in this section of the film were actually quite scared because there were a lot of explosions and pyrotechnics going off. And these little sparks that hit you, obviously they're like little iron filings or something, aren't they? And they were hitting Sean Pertwee on his bald head because he'd shaved his head. And said it can't have been pleasant for him. He kept his cig in his mouth. Anyway, so all this is going off, and there's fire as well. And so they're putting the fire out. And Cooper's on his way to save Justin. And there we go. And he comes out, grabs hold of him, but he's unconscious. And so they get him back to the well, they don't go back to the Lewis and Clark yet. They go to the medical bay on the event horizon because the Lewis and Clark's pretty done in now at the moment. So Smith is going to have to fix it. It's obviously Justin can't, the engineer, because he's compromised. So they stay on the event horizon. So that's what they're going to do. while Cooper and Smithy fix the Lewis and Clark. Oh right, I missed that. I must have blinked and missed this. You know what about they've got gravity, because it showed them clumping about on the event horizon. They had gravity boots on, activated. But no, they've got gravity systems. Look, what does this say? I'm going to read all this now. I'm going to read all this. Can't read that top bit. Date submitted to user group, whatever that says. Fail safe documentation 4PP revision level 00 author Charles Conley, whoever that is. Submitters, blah blah blah. Digital Equipment Corporation. This program will punch the contents of the disc or deck tape onto paper tape. You think they've just copied this from somewhere? Which can be loaded back onto the disc using the same program. This is what's using the gravity systems, is it? The paper tape is punched in 208 word blocks in binary format with a checksum for each block. Failsafe simplifies and speeds the process of rebuilding the disk system monitor after running disk tests, minimum hardware, blah, 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 blah. Paper tape and punch cards and stuff like that. Oh dear. Anyway, sorry, Wingrace. Shivers is countering that, methinks. The David Cronenberg film Shivers. I will shiver all night now. I was did Cube as the basis for a mission in Shadowrun at Ren Raku. I have no idea what you're on about. Is that a game? I've no idea. Tell you, call myself a geek. I've no idea what I'm doing. Anyway, so they're activating the gravity systems, so everything comes crashing to the ground. Here we go. This body hits the ground. Come on, let's show it. I can't use the skip. It skips 10 seconds and I can't change it. I'd miss it. She's landing. This body, this dead body, so it was frozen. It was a popsicle. Corpsicle, sorry, they said, didn't they? And it shatters. And apparently, see if we can see it. There's a Barbie doll. Or maybe they did it again. Yeah, I bet this is the one that had the Barbie doll in. Apparently, this model that they made to shatter, the fellow that made it, the original chap, put a Barbie doll inside, and when it smashed, this Barbie doll came flying out. So I'm wondering, what's that there? There's a line there, didn't you see that faint line there? Is that just a fault on the film, a scratch on the negative? Then it changes to that one. Looks a different one now, isn't it? That. Yeah, I can't see them. So if they did two. But Paul W. Sanderson played dummy with him. Said, "What's with the bloody Barbie doll?" You know, it was a joke. And he'd make another one and do it again. There's no Barbie doll in this one. I don't think. Not that I can see. Not that I can see. It just shatters. Not real. It's not real. Anyway, sorry about that. Yeah. RPG. Oh, Shadowrun. RPG. Lots of puzzle rooms. That sounds pretty cool. I once used the Royale from TNG as the basis for a D&D campaign. Tell you, proper geeks. Proper geeks. I've never been into Dungeons and Dragons. A friend once tried to get me into it, but it wasn't my thing. I'm too lazy. That's the trouble. I'm too lazy for stuff like that. You know, big thick books and stuff to flick through when you're rolling your dice and all that. I'm too lazy for it. I need instant gratification. I'm not really a geek. I'm just old. From Yorkshire. Anyway, where were we? Oh, and this gravity's back on now. Oh, and they're getting covered in coolant. For some reason, it's falling in two big, huge, blobby streams. For some reason, that's probably where the buckets were. And apparently, this scene is just because Paul W.S. Anderson wanted a scene where it looked like it were raining in the spaceship. Anyway, right, so there you go. They've got power on, lights come on. So I think they've got 17 hours, something like that. They do a estimate of how they're doing, but the CO2 scrubbers are not working properly. So there we go. Breathable air for 20 hours. They've got 20 hours to get off the ship or repair the Lewis and Clark or get the CO2 scrubbers working. There's a Lewis. That'd be a nice Eagle Moss ship as well, wouldn't it? The Lewis and Clark. Apparently, I don't know if it's this one, but I think one that spoilers at the end. I won't say what happens to it. The big model of the Lewis and Clark were 25 feet long. So they made some big bloody models for this film, didn't they? A 70-foot model of the Event Horizon and a 25-foot model of the Lewis and Clark. Which, I keep doing that. Right. So, here we go. They're checking the damage that were done as Cooper and Smithy. So they're going to patch that up and get it all sorted. So they want to know what happened on the Event Horizon. And Sam Neill's in a bit of denial about what's going on for a while. But here we see Justin is in a catatonic state. He's not responding. But he does talk later in a bit. And this is Cooper's trying to explain what happened with Justin. He just appeared out of the gravity drive. Says, and Weir says that's impossible. The gravity drive can't activate. It's impossible. And he's basically telling Cooper that he's delusional. And he's telling him it's impossible. Blah blah blah. He says, I know what I saw. And like we said, maybe it was an optical effect. Maybe the gravity drive, the energy wave made him see something that wasn't really there, or whatever. So basically, he doesn't know. He doesn't know, does Weir, what's going on. And there's the gravity drive. It's telling them how it works. It creates a black hole. And then she goes, the most destructive force in the universe. Thinking she's in Disney's black hole. Thinking she's Yvette Mimieux. Because she says that, doesn't she, in that? So that's what. So it's like a Romulan ship. It's using a singularity for an energy source, sort of. But they're saying, get to Proxima Centauri in a day, but obviously it didn't. Or maybe it did. I don't know. But they say it can't just open by itself. And he keeps saying it's perfectly safe, and nobody believes him. I won't believe him if I saw all them spikes. It's not safe at all in here. But, there is looking at his creation, and in the background, as we're looking at that, you can hear like screams, really faint screams, like tortured souls. That's how I describe it to myself. There's Justin still catatonic with Peter's doing some work. As he hears a noise, like a noise of something scratching something, and she looks over. See if I can catch it. Before this, hang on. Just look over. You just get a glimpse of something. I think you did anyway. Go on. Yeah, she hears something. She says to DJ, "Where are you?" He says, "I'm up on deck 4." So there's nobody else there apart from Justin. She hears this noise. I've missed it. I've gone too far. On showers. You just get a glimpse of something moving. I bet I've gone too far. Picks up that. Is it going to show us? We get a copyright strike now because I'm doing this. Because I want to see something. No, it didn't on this. It must be earlier on. Let's go back again. Oh, there we are. Is that noise? She looks. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I imagined it. I don't know. There were a bit where you could see something moving. Well, I thought I did. And I say, here we go. She looks across, and then I'm sure as this moves out of frame, you can see something moving under there. Right, we're going to go through this a frame at a time. Every frame a pause. EFAP. We're going to EFAP this bugger. I bet it doesn't do it. I bet it doesn't do it. If it goes out of frame, you can see something move under the green. I think you can. Watch it not. There we go. There we go. You see it then. You see it then. You see it. You see it. You see it. I saw it then. I saw it. I bet it's behind my head. I bet it is. I bet it's behind my bloody head. Move myself. I don't know how to move myself. Never mind. Over here, you see my mouse pointer. Where are we? There we are. Over here, maybe I might just be able to see it. A shadow moves. See it again. Doesn't matter because we'll see it properly again in a minute. She goes over. She sees this little whatever that is, that medical thing. Goes over. We see something. Hang on, come back again. There we go. There's somebody in there scratching at the for God's sake, scratching at the canvas, whatever it is. There we go. There we go. Proper spooky and scary. Yes, I know my head is blocking. I don't know how to move it in StreamYards. There's all these different options here, but if I try, what have we got? What have we got? No, that just makes me big. That just makes that little. That makes. Right, we'll try that. Don't matter anyway. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not important. Anyway, she sees. I'll say that something scratching at the this little tent, wherever it's supposed to be. Pulls it open, and it's her son sitting there. He says, "Mummy." There you go. Played by Barclay Wright, and when we were watching it, the director's commentary, director and producer's commentary, I'm sure Jeremy Bolt said it's his son, but I don't know. I haven't been able to find any confirmation of that, but he said that's my son. I don't know if that's actually it. Anyway, she looks down. He sees his legs. His legs are all as though they're all infected and manky. Look, so she's obviously disgusted at that. And there's supposed to be another scene where we look again, and then they've all got maggots and stuff on. And apparently the test screenings, he said this a few times in this film, did Paul W.S. Anderson, in the test screenings, because they went all out for the original cut of the film. And it were too disgusting for the audiences. And I'm watching it thinking, good, it's a horror film. It's supposed to be disgusting. It says, it's a fine line between scaring people and disgusting them. If you disgust them, they'll turn off and all that. Oh, for God's sake. Well, they have two cuts then. Have a, PG-13 one or a rated R one, and have an NC-17 cut. Taking stuff out. Anyway, reminds me of Sixth Sense. Yeah, we're a little bit, because he had a tent in that, didn't it? Which is a great film. One of my favourites. I guess this came first. Well, yeah. Only by a couple of years. So she sees that. She's obviously distraught, but then DJ arrives. There you go. And she looks back again. Obviously, there's nothing there. So something weird is going on the event horizon. Yeah, it's probably true. They got a bunch of normies to screen it to you, not horror fans. Yeah, that's probably true. We want gore and maggots. That's what we want. Anyway, and we want the hell scene, don't we, that we're going to see later on. But the proper full scene, that's what we want. Anyway. Right, so Smithy's come back in, and he says he'd rather spend. He's come back in, he's finished what he were doing. Cooper's still out there, still patching up the outside of the ship. And but Smithy says he'd rather spend 12 hours out there in the suit than 5 minutes on the Event Horizon. It gives him the willies. Right, so they're looking at the captain's log of the Event Horizon. Apparently, almost all of these characters, not characters, but the actors, apparently, according to Paul W.S. Anderson, are directors. They must be friends, that decided to do this. So this is them getting ready to set off, I suppose, and everything's happy and lovely. And there he is, Captain saying, we're getting ready to go. And then suddenly it goes, let me see, something weird's going on. So it's up to Kathleen Quinlan now to clear up that footage. And she does. We see it later on. Anyway, and then there's the power dims, all the lights dim. And got to wonder why. So he's gone to check as Sam Neill. I should call him Weir, but it's Sam Neill, isn't it? Is going to check on why the gravity drive is drawing energy. Even that captain's chair looks creepy. It reminds me of the captain's chair from Babylon 5. In the beginning, the captain's chair on the I forgot the name of the ship. The ship that started the Earth Minbari War. I can't remember the name. It wasn't the Prometheus. What is the Prometheus? The captain had a chair like that, didn't he? With hanging from the ceiling. He had one like that, didn't he? In Babylon 5. Of course, Earth ships are rubbish, aren't they, in Babylon 5? Anyway, so they've got to open up this panel here so we can climb inside the Jeffries tube. Here he goes. So in he goes. Made out of computer circuit boards. So there we see Justin starts frothing at the mouth and having some sort of convulsions. There he goes saying, he's coming. And they say, who's coming? And he says something like, his dark side or something like that. Maybe Vader's on his way. Then he speaks out. It's out again, I think. Only one human captain's ever survived a battle with the Minbari fleet. He's behind me. Yes, this is Delenn, isn't it? You are in front of me. If you value your lives, be somewhere else. Yes, that's what she said, didn't she? Yep. Babylon 5's ace. Anyway, where were we? Right, so he's in here now. Is Weir checking these circuits. This is what he's checking over here. As he's doing that, he hears a voice. I think somebody calls his name. I think somebody says Billy. So I'd have been freaking out. There we go. Billy. There's like a whispery voice. And then the lights go out. I'd have been like, ah! Weird myself. Yes, more cube looking scenery. Yes, it is very cubish, isn't it? I'm going to have to watch the rest of those. I've only seen the first one. It also looks a bit like what he did in Resident Evil 1. I can't remember. I can't remember. If you say so, I'll take your word for it. I can't remember much of what happens in Resident Evil 1. Anyway. Right, so I've got problems in here. The lights flickering and going off and coming back on. And something's going to appear. And obviously it does. There she is. That goes out. When it comes back on in a minute, she's there. This is his wife. When you're ready, there she is. And she says, be with me forever. But she's still got no eyes because they're obsessed with things not having eyes. I better check, make sure we're still going. See, no, we're all right. Did get a copyright thing. I think that might be for the trailer, though. To be honest, at the beginning, I think we're fine. I'll just check on the other streams, make sure we're still going on there. Yes, we are. We're still going on there. Nobody in the live chat. And we're still going on Twitch. Yes, we're still going. Right, so off we go. Where were we? Right, so she's there. Looking all scary. Saying, could there be that she's waiting for him forever or whatever. I don't know. So he's freaking out now. And then Lawrence Fishburne, Miller, he has his own vision. See, the water starts bubbling and it sets on fire. Then a figure rises out. There we go. And for some reason, well, not for some reason, it just does. It reminds me of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now for some reason. But it's supposed to be a crew member from one of his earlier ships who were on that died, in a fire, and he couldn't save him. So he's got a name, but I can't remember. Does it say? Edmund Corrick, that's his name. Miller's former shipmate from the Goliath. There we go. That's who that is. And for some reason, it reminds me of Martin Sheen in Apocalypse Now. But so he's having his own vision, and then they're talking about. He's saying, I know what I saw, but Sam Neill is denying it. He's saying he hasn't seen anything. But she's Peter says, she saw her son and all that. She knows what she saw. It wasn't a hallucination. Weir is, is in denial. He's keeping it all close to his chest. Smitty's not seen out. I went full Yorkshire then, didn't I? Not seen out. Not seen anything. But he's angry with Weir now because he's blaming Weir. His engines kill the other crew, and he's scared that it's going to kill them as well. As the film goes on, he gets more and more terrified. Sean Pertwee, and he's freaking out here, and DJ just puts a scalpel to his throat, to calm him down. So you get the feeling that DJ is not the most well-balanced person in the world. If you can just put a scalpel to a crewmate's throat, but it does the job. He calms down for a minute and then has another go at him. Anyway, so Miller tells Smithy, you've got to calm down. I want you to get back out there and fix the Lewis and Clark. There needs to be more cosmic space horror. I'd like to see a film like this, to be honest, now, but with some, like I said, some Lovecraftian, unimaginable space horror. I mean, you kind of got that in that Nicolas Cage film, didn't you? That is it Colour Out of Space? That were quite good, but it wasn't set in space, was it? But it was about a meteorite, wasn't it? Pertinent. Still has Pertwee still has PTSD from dog soldiers. Sausages. Anyway, right, so I'd like to see, a good Lovecraftian, horror film with like unimaginable horrors and creatures that you only glimpse parts of because they're that scary, and if you saw it in its full horrific form, it'd drive you mad, that sort of thing. Anyway, whatever. Let Guillermo del Toro make at the Mountains of Madness, for God's sake. Right, so getting ready to fix the Lewis and Clark and get out of there. This is Stark, Jolie Richardson Stark. She's got her theory now that whatever happened to the Event Horizon, it's come back from wherever it went, and she thinks it's brought some form of life with it that has essentially imbued life into the ship. That's her theory. With Jason Isaacs in this, maybe the hell dimension was actually the Discovery timeline. That would explain the horror. Putting drops in his eyes. I did like the Alien episode of his Cabinet of Curiosities, even though that was made by someone else. Well, he was like the producer, wasn't it? I can't remember now. I did watch that Cabinet of Curiosities. I really liked it. I can't remember what happened in them. I'm going to see now. I'm going to have to watch that again. It's on Netflix, isn't it? I'm going to have to dig it out and watch it again. So a few of those were Lovecraft based, weren't they? And they were pretty good. Because sometimes Lovecraft adaptations, are not very good, are they? Really. I mean, Reanimator were fun, but it's only loosely based on Lovecraft, wasn't it? I've read it. It's only loosely based on it. Anyway. And the Dunwich Horror, which is okay. It was F. Murray Abraham, and the alien kind of took over bodies and piloted them. But yeah, it's ringing a bell, but I'll have to watch it again. Anyway, so she's telling them basically the Event Horizon is alive now, and she's saying it's reacting to them being on board. That's her theory. But Illa says he just wants to stay alive for the next 10 hours. Anyway, because it's a haunted house film, isn't it? Basically, on a dark and stormy night and all that. That's what's going on. Anyway, so we're back in the medical bay or sick bay or life station or whatever you want to call it. And Peters is watching Justin, and she has a wander about now. The camera follows her. You know what's going to happen. She walks over to the left and over to the right, and as she goes back, there we see Justin still on the table. As she goes back, he's not there anymore. He's buggered off. So I said, Justin, where are you? And then suddenly all hell breaks loose. You hear this loud banging noise, and apparently he was inspired for this part of the film by Robert Wise's The Haunting from 1963. He was inspired by that with this pounding that was coming from somewhere in the ship that which didn't know where. It's another good film, The Haunting, 1963. So she's scared, and suddenly all hell breaks loose. So she goes running away. There's all sparks and stuff flying. So she goes running to the bridge, and she's saying, "There's something happening." And she shut the door. She closed the blast door, I suppose, on the bridge. And they're not sure whether to believe her or not. But then, I'm gone far enough. Like showers. Something starts pounding on the door. There we go, and making it buckle. Doesn't look great, does it? It just looks like a rubber door. But again, this were inspired by The Haunting, because there's a bit in that where a door bends and stuff, doesn't it? The only thing you see in that whole film, you just hear things in The Haunting, don't you? And the only thing you see is the door flexing. Or the pattern on the wallpaper changes a little bit, doesn't it? But that's just lighting. I'm waffling. Anyway, we're talking about Mozart. Anyway, whatever. We're talking about F. Murray Abraham in the chat. Said something's trying to get in the door. Say it looks like rubbery, doesn't it? But anyway, Weir decides he's going to open the door. So going over to open the door, all sparks going off. But Stark stops him. She gets him in an arm lock and stops him from opening the door and letting in what horrors lay beyond. Whatever was out there, they didn't want getting in. Then they get an alert that there's somebody in the airlock, and it turns out it's Justin. So they go, and Miller's outside helping Cooper. Is it Cooper or Hooper? I've got his bloody name already. I've got his blooming name already. Cooper. Helping Cooper with the Lewis and Clark, and she tells him that Justin's in the airlock, and he activates there's a 30-second countdown, for decompression and that. So he's activated that. They're trying to talk him out, but this is the button to open the door. There we go. It says, "Did you hear it?" and all that. The dark inside me from the other place. So he's seen something when he went through the Stargate. Unimaginable horrors. That's what he's seen. But he starts the countdown. He presses the button. It starts bleeding out of his orifices. But luckily, Miller's on his way in his spacesuit. Here he comes. He's going to save Justin. Justin comes out of the airlock and there's blood flying everywhere. Look. Ah! There he comes out of the airlock and Miller grabs him and they go back in. They sort him out. He doesn't die. Spoilers, he doesn't die. He's one that's saved. We don't see him for the rest of the film. Not doing anything. They shove him in a stasis tube. So he's fine for the rest of the film. Even though he's been in the vacuum of space. Apparently space, it's easy to survive in, isn't it? Everybody can do it now. Everybody can do it these days. Anyway, so they save him, shove him in a tube, and they say, he'll be fine. He'll survive. There you go. The bleeding. They've got 4 hours now before they can't breathe. I wish Jason X woke up on this shit. Oh dear. Speaking of Jason, that's next week's. Not Jason X. We've done that one before. Because it's Friday the 13th next week. We're doing part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. But anyway, that's something else. Right, so the countdown's still on the ticking clock. They've got 4 hours. So they've still got to sort out the Lewis and Clark. And they're asking Weir, what exactly is going on? Why are people seeing all these weird things? Why is the crew acting strangely? And he's just rebuffing him. And so they have an argument. He admits that he doesn't know, he doesn't understand what's going on. Needs more time. So you've got 4 hours basically. And, then he hears there you go, don't leave me. He is I forgot his name. I forgot his name. Edmund Corrick. He is that chap again. But he doesn't see him this time. There you go. Hear his voice, and he puts his head up against this the bulkhead here. He's saying it's in your head, and then he gets some flash images. He goes, just in your head. There we go. We see some scary images of his crew being tortured. Jolie Richardson, isn't it? I think, and that's Cooper, Justin. Because they're getting images of the hell dimension. There's somebody being spiked. I don't know who that is. You've got a quick image of that. That blimey. Blair's telling DJ all about it. He's telling him all about they served on the Goliath together. And there were a fire, and people had got into, the escape pods, and then he saw Edmund Corrick get caught in the fire, and he's talking about fire in zero gravity. He says it's beautiful, and it's like liquid and it flows over things. And he saw this, the fire going up him in waves, consuming Edmund Corrick in these waves of flame, but he couldn't do anything about it. He closed the airlock and left him basically to his doom. And it's obviously been on his mind ever since. And closed the lifeboat hatch and left him behind. That swore he'd never lose another man. And then DJ says, you never told me that before. I've known you for a long time. You've never told me that before. He said, I've never told anybody. It's this ship. It gets in your head. And it's basically getting their fears and making them manifest, isn't it? Anyway, Haha, sleeping bag as a club is the best weapon ever. Yeah, that were in Jason X, wasn't it? And also in what we did to the week, wasn't it? In the prophecy, wasn't it? But that was a bear, a mutant bear. Anyway, so that's where the one, he says he made a mistake in the translation. Remember early on he had liberate me, which says save me. He says it's liberate tuta me, which means save yourselves. And then there's a bit extra at the end is found. Save yourselves from hell. So that's what is save yourself. And ex inferis from hell. Dun dun dun. So we had to learn that the event horizon has been beyond the boundaries of our universe into another dimension. A dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind. And it's come back with something terrible. So, right. What's happening now? What's happening? I can't remember. Oh, yes, they're patching up the Lewis and Clark, but it's still some little gaps. So Cooper's going to patch it up. He's going to finish it off. Smith is going back inside. There you can see they've patched it up, and but there's still some gases. But he's going to sort that out. Information that would have been good to know before we arrived here, DJ. Yeah. By the way, most of these screens apparently were just blue screens, and the displays were added on later. Apparently, don't know which ones, but most of them, he said in the commentary. Great job, no notes. Nah, because I'm lazy. Anyway, she's still working on the the hell dimension footage. That's what she's working on there. And I'm in here. She's there we go. It's where we get a look at it. Right, let's have a look. Let's skip through this. All right. Didn't mean you, meant their patch job. Oh, cheers. Never mind then. Anyway, right, come on. Show us this. There we go. Right, so we get to see his footage. I think we might get to see some more. This is the Hell Dimension footage, which we don't see much of. But apparently they used, adult industry actors and amputees and stuff like that in this section. So they're all the crew's basically ripping themselves apart, doing all sorts of terrible things to one another, as you can see there. I'll not linger. Eyes being pulled out. As we've got a thing about eyes in this film. There we go. And somebody being bent over somewhere. Probably something bad being happening to them. But yes, it's all kicking off in the hell dimension, and there's somebody getting an arm down the throat and ripping the guts out. Ask AI to recreate this scene. I wouldn't know where to start. That seems to be something it would be good at. Well, yeah, they can't do hands, can it? Can AI? Or it might be better now. I don't know. Anyway, but it's actually going on longer than if you go frame by frame. It actually goes on longer than you think, doesn't it? There he goes. Guts coming out. City of the Living Dead vibes. Yep. Another film I haven't seen in a long time. City of the Living Dead. You remember that one? Is it a Fulci film? Can't remember. And there's somebody getting, I think, the spike through the head or something. I don't know. Oh, there we go. Through his teeth, a spike through his head. Oh dear. And there's more eyes. More eyes. Have it. There we go. Oh, fun was had by all. It was just basically, well, it's that Vulcan ship in the Delphic Expanse, isn't it? For another Star Trek reference. Right, so there we go. So they know what they're up against now. They know what happened to the other crew. So he's decided. Oh, is it? And when he watched that, did I'm going to say it here. They're leaving. He's watched that. Impulse, yes, that's the name of the episode. I couldn't remember the name of it. Yes, it's a decent episode. The shortest, what they call it, teaser or whatever, at the beginning of a Star Trek episode. Was it 15 seconds or something like that? To Paul screaming. Anyway. Right, so the leave decided they're going. They go tell Stark to download the Event Horizons files. They're getting ready to go back to the Lewis and Clark. And mate, getting ready to do that, and he's going to blow it up. He's going to blow up the Event Horizon. It's, him, Miller, but then obviously he's become possessed by the ship now. He says, "I am home," so he disappears. Gets up to shenanigans with himself in a bit. Smithy and Peters, they're doing the bit from Alien, you know, when Yaphet Kotto and the other one, Veronica Cartwright, I forgot the name of the bloody characters, but they were doing something with oxygen tanks and stuff. They're doing a similar thing here. This is their scene where they're collecting CO2 scrubbers from the Event Horizon. And some of them are okay, and some of them are no good. And the ones that are no good, they throw into one side. And so they get those. They're gonna take them back to the Lewis and Clark. But Peters sees something. She sees her son running about. I think we see him go past. There we go. We see him there. Look. So obviously he's got to go. She knows it's not real, but she's still got to go and check it out, hasn't she? Because she's stupid. She knows it's the ship. They should know it's all illusion, you know. None of it's real. It's the ship playing tricks with her mind. But she's still got to bloody go, hasn't she? She knows it's not her son. Her son's on Earth, for Christ's sake. 3 billion miles away, however far Neptune is. Anyway, so she goes. She climbs up this ladder. She does a bit of an alien thing here. It reminds me of another alien reference. There we go. You know, when Ripley's into the Nostromo's escape pod thing. She goes up the ladder. She's all covered in sweat, even her fingernails. Anyway, this is her Ripley scene. Look. Anyway, so that's that. Yes, logic has left the building. It has, yeah. Yes, it has. Logic be damned. So, okay, so she goes up there and she goes after her son, and she sees him there, and she goes running towards him, obviously not watching where she's going, and she plummets down this pipe. There you go, ass over tit into the gravity drive room, and splash, splat, whatever. There, and so that's the end of Peters because she didn't watch where she were going. There you go. Poor Kathleen Quinlan. Who were good in she was good in Apollo 13, and she was good in that Twilight Zone, the movie, in the Joe Dante directed version. Anyway, whatever. So that's the end of her. But then Weir comes in, Sam Neill, he comes in and is about to do something, and then he sees Kathleen Quinlan's body. They can see the CO2 scrubber pipes lying about. That's a plot point for later. Coffin-shaped doorways. Yes, these here, yeah. Like the vestibule. The door's round, isn't it? But I see this part is coffin-shaped, isn't it? Yeah. That's probably deliberate. Anyway, so he sees her and says, "Oh God." And then he has his own vision. There you go. He's taken back. I'm gonna have to be quick here because there's some nudity. So we'll have to watch what we're doing. Right. So he sees his missus is back. Looks like he's back at that space station. I forgot they called it. Daylight Station or something. We'll call it Gateway. He's back at that station, and he sees his wife Claire, and he's saying sorry to her, and he realizes she killed herself because he were never there. He blames himself, and anyway, they can check out yes, like the Hotel California. Anyway, so he's apologising to her, but he can't change anything. Obviously, he knows what she did. She self-deleted in the bath. I have to be quick here. And there you go. She cut her wrists. She cut her wrists in the bath. And then so he's had to watch that again. Oh, and then we get to never noticed this before. This flag. I don't know. It's New Zealand, isn't he? Is Sam Neill from New Zealand, isn't he? I think, is he? Yes, from New Zealand. So obviously this is reference to the New Zealand flag, but they've got rid of the Union flag, the British Union flag there, and replaced it with something else. So obviously by 2047, maybe Britain doesn't exist anymore, or at least the Commonwealth. But if this was Sam Neill's idea, I'm not very happy with Sam Neill. But anyway, 2 L's, yes. Anyway. So he's obviously despairing, and then she's there in front of him. Gonna have to be quick here now because she's got no clothes on. And she comforts him. Have to get back quick. Ooh, that were close, wasn't it? There she's saying she'll never be alone again. She's got no eyes. Ooh, I have such wonderful, wonderful things to show you, and I got real Hellraiser vibes. Such wonderful sights to show him. Come on, steady. And then she pulls his eyes out, but then it cuts back, and he's pulling his own eyes out. I told you, they're obsessed with eyes in this film, so he's pulling his eyes out, and pulling his soul out. Win Grace, isn't it? That's what he's doing. And yes, it's spicy. Dear. Right, so this is Cooper, because we can see it on his name thing there. He's using his big bolt gun thing to to fix the ship. But he's doing that. So he's fixed it up. Everything's hunky-dory. Going back in, got to collect his tools. Smitty's inside. But then he turns around and he sees Dr. Weir. He's been in the Lewis and Clark for some reason. He's going back down in the elevator, look. So he says, Dr. Weir, what are you doing? What are you doing? We're getting ready to leave, etc. There you go. So he gets on the blower to Miller. As Captain says it like this: Captain Miller, do you copy? Says it like, with the spinal tapping. Do you copy? Over. And he tells him he's just seen Dr. Weir on the Lewis and Clark. He's up to something. And then Miller notices, there you go, that one of the explosive charges is missing. So he's placed a bomb on the Lewis and Clark. So he's got to go and find it now. They tell him to get out of there. So he goes running down the corridor. By the way, corridor, they did it with it's the old sleight of hand mirrors trick. They extended it with mirrors. They had a big mirror on either end, like they did in Aliens, with the tube bay thing, whatever they call it. They did that, and they had big mirrors at either end to extend the tunnel. It's been a while since I watched this. I never realised how much the Impossible Planet / Satan Pit from Doctor Who kind of follow the same beats. It's been a while since I've seen that one as well. But yeah, they had. Is that the one where they had like infernal text appearing on the skin? Is that one? I think it is, isn't it? Been a while. I haven't watched Doctor Who for ages. Anyway, right. So he goes running down the corridor. Smith is looking for the bomb, and he thinks he's found it. It's in his own pack. There we go. In, the thing. Right. Let's have a look at this now, because I've got to. He opens it up. There we go. Opens it up. Right. Got 6 seconds. Why doesn't he press that button there? Oh, whatever. Detonator. Arm, disarm. Why doesn't he disarm it? He's got 6 seconds. All he's got to do is press that. But he doesn't. He just stands there and looks sad. Oh, I'm going to die. Stupid man. But he deserves to die. So then you go. So the here it goes. The Lewis and Clark blows up. I think this is the 25-foot model that they're blowing up. There you go. Looks kind of cool. Looks kind of cool. There's Cooper. He's going to get going to go on his own adventure now. You've got this film that's that's got a ship that's gone through a black hole into a hell dimension and come back alive, and it's reading the minds of all the crew and making their, most terrible, guilty thoughts manifest. But yet this next bit with Cooper is the bit where I'm like, yeah, as if. But anyway, so they all think Cooper's dead anyway. Smith is dead, obviously. And so they've lost the Lewis and Clark, so he's not happy. And here we go. Here we see Cooper. He's on this bit of wreckage, which is actually a bit of aeroplane wreckage, that they got from an aeroplane graveyard. So he's got to work out now, as Cooper, still alive, what he's going to do. He's going to blow his air tank. He thinks he's Sandra Bullock in Gravity. That's what he thinks he is. And he just blows his air tank. Oh, Spock. He's Spock in the motion picture, isn't he? Doing this, look. So off he goes. Look, there he goes, heading back. Obviously he worked out his trajectory and you know exactly where he's going. Here he goes. And I'm like, yeah, as if. Oh dear. Right. So is it this bit or is it? Yeah. I think this bit where he's talking to DJ. That obviously I think Jason Isaacs is just looking at a blue screen there. And Paul W. Anderson said for some reason this was really expensive, this effect shot. Maybe it's coming up because something happens in this scene. He tells him about Weir, and he says, Weir's gone crazy. The Lewis and Clark's gone. So if you come across him, deal with him. So there you go. So he's got a big knife now, and says, don't worry about Weir. I'll take care of him. But then obviously, Weir's behind him with no eyes. Obviously, he picks him up. Not too far. This is so existentially frightening, is it? Oh dear. Right, come on, turn around. Oh, stop doing that. Stop doing that. People are seeing all my icons on my desktop. He sees him and he picks him up. And he drops the saw, picks him because he's super strong now. He's super strong for some reason. And he throws Jason Isaacs across the med bay. I'm trying to. There's a shot that he said was a super expensive effect, and I'm trying to find it. And there you go, throws him across. And there's a shot. It's just a screen with Lawrence Fishburne on the screen. It says it was really expensive to do for some reason. Maybe because maybe there's a lot of movement in the shot or what, I don't know. There we go. That's it. That was really expensive to do. Probably because he passes in front of it, doesn't he? Yeah. A fortune just for that half a second. Anyway, so he's got Jason Isaacs on the slab now, and as we see, I think I've gone too far. As we see, this is Jason Isaacs terrifying thing that terrifies him most. He's going to show us. No, it's come too far. Hasn't it? Here we go. He opens him up and we see he's got a scar. So he's obviously had surgery at some point as DJ. See, he's got dog tags. He's clever. He don't wear a bloody t-shirt, does he? We see he's had surgery, and apparently the backstory is he's terrified of having, surgery again. Don't know what surgery he had, but obviously severe and major. Yes, maybe he's a prior. Yes, he'd play a good prior with Sam Neill, wouldn't he, in SG1? Anyway, so Sam Neill cuts him open and gets the needle and thread out. So Miller's heading to sickbay, and then he finds Jason Isaacs. Apologies for the gore. Sees him strung up. Apparently, though, all this, the guts and stuff, were supposed to be still attached. Maybe they even filmed it. I don't know. This might be one of the scenes that were, watered down. But the guts were still supposed to be attached and working, and Jason Isaacs was supposed to lift his head and, kill me sort of thing. But, they didn't do that. And for some reason, it's written all, weird Kabbalistic runes, I suppose you could say, around as weird. Don't know why, just as. Right. Right, so, in this, for some reason, in a biohazard locker, I don't know why, but with the number 83 on, oh yeah, 80, oh, that must be the number of the lockers. 82, 83, 84, don't know, but anyway. Why the Roman numerals, don't know. He gets out one of them big guns, the bolt gun, there it is, look. The one that Cooper were using, there we go. Chekhov's bolt gun. He's right, Dr. Weir, I'm going to deal with you now. Goes looking for Dr. Weir on the bridge. He finds him, I think, if I remember rightly. Why, finds Stark. She's unconscious. He gives her some smelling salts. She comes round. There we go. Well, he put the bolt gun down, and then as he goes back to pick it up, it's not there anymore. So obviously, Weir is very stealthy as well as strong. And we see he's sitting in the captain's chair with the bolt gun, with his eyes. He's sewn his eyes up now. And they say, what's happened to your eyes? He says, well, where we're going, we don't need eyes to see. Oh, there we go. There we go. And he doesn't need eyes because he can see, because Jolie Richardson comes charging at him with an oxygen tank in a minute, or some sort of gas tank. And he sees her. He's explaining about the other dimension that's pure evil and all that. But that's a point of view, isn't it? That's just a point of view. But when she crossed over, she was just a ship, and now she's alive. Isn't she beautiful? And then he says, your beautiful ship killed its crew. And then he says, she has a new crew now. Us. Dun, dun, dun. There you go. But then Jolie Richardson tried to batter him, but he stopped her and throws her across the room, and she's knocked out again. She's going to have an 8 concussion, isn't she? Got the remember, he's got the bolt gun, and he says, if you shoot me, you'll blow out the hull. And he says, what makes you think I'll miss? But then Cooper's back. Are you ready? Here he is. Cooper's back. That's right, I'm back, he says. So he's knocking on the bridge window. And for some reason, I don't know why, maybe it's just instinctive, I don't know. But for some reason, there you go, he fires it at the window. Why? Why does he do that? I've no idea. Because he's killing himself, isn't he? Spoilers, he doesn't. Maybe he's already dead, I don't know, but whatever. It's not the last we see of him. So it's gone through there. So Cooper's been pushed away now by these gases that are coming out. So Cooper's gone again. But he's not. He should be like spinning off again into space, but he isn't. But anyway, whatever. So thingamabob, Anyway, off that goes. And is he? Sam Neill goes out off into space. There he is. He gets blown out into space, not sucked out. He gets blown out into space. And but luckily, Miller's hanging on to that wire cable. So you think it's the end of Weir? We think it is because he's gone out, been blown out into space. But Miller pulls himself to safety off the bridge through the doors. But then she's there, is Stark, and the door starts closing, so he jams it open with something big and heavy. And so he gets saves them. They get out just as the door closes, so they're safe for the time being. But then they hear a noise in the airlock. So, excuse me. So they get to the airlock and it opens up, but it's Cooper. How did he get there? No idea. No idea. 'Cause he were off. He were off being blown out again into space, wasn't he? Maybe he's got little, attitude adjustment things. I don't know, but anyway, he's back on board. He's still alive. Right, so they've got to work out what to do. So he's going to blow the corridor. That's what he's going to do. And they're going to go into stasis and head back, and another rescue ship will pick him up, hopefully. So that's what they're going to do. So off he goes to arm the. Why? By the way, we're also getting another thing from Alien. Sounds like Mother, female voice saying gateway opening in T-5 minutes. He was activating the emergency beacon, and then he sees the blood coming from the walls. Maybe that's his fear. Maybe he'd watched the Amityville Horror or The Shining, but obviously inspired by The Shining and the Amityville Horror. And then let's see. It looks up. This effect looks rubbish. That looks rubbish. Apparently, they're just pulling, pardon me, like red tissue paper on a string, just pulling it there. And it looks like it, doesn't it? It looks rubbish, doesn't it? But whatever. So anyway, so all blood's coming out, and then it's all filling up this tank of whatever. And that all explodes and opens up. It's like the elevator scene in it from The Shining. It's supposed to be like that, I suppose. By the way, we've got a view of. Hang on, where are we? See, Justin's fine. Justin's in his tube. He's fine. But but Stark isn't. She gets washed away in all this blood. So is there? Look, I thought you were going to catch her, but no. She just drops down. So it's a wonder she's not knocked out again. But anyway, let's make sure we're still going. Yeah, we are. Just check for messages. No, we're fine. Right. So, but she's fine. So he scoops her up, and they're fine. Right. Miller's arming all the explosive things, and he's got his manual detonator. That's the word. I'm trying to think of the word. Got his hand detonator. So everything's there. Oh, and then it sees him again. Edmund, I can't remember his name. Corrick. Yes, Edmund Corrick sees him again. I'm going to call him Martin Sheen. Sees him again. Yeah, you let me burn. And then he fires fire at him. There we go. By the way, we're blocking his way back to the front of the ship. So he's got to run back now into the gravity drive room. And he's firing this fire at him. They nearly burnt down Pinewood Studios in this scene. Apparently, they had a big flamethrower, and it was like an automatic one. It were on like a stand, and this big flamethrower that they wanted to fire down this corridor, but they didn't realise the force that the flames had come out of it 'cause it'll be like, it's not just flames, is it? It'll be like, fuel as well, won't it? And it came flying out, and it knocked over the flamethrower. The flamethrower tilted backwards, and it set fire to the ceiling, and then it fell forwards and set fire to the floor. So luckily, no one were in where they were, because they'd evacuated it to film this. But they nearly burnt down Pinewood Studios, nearly. But luckily, it was soon under control. But it could have been disastrous. Anyway, so we jumped through there, and a bit of a rubbishy fire effect here. Going to see it. There we go. Bit goofy, that one. Flame on, yes, flame on. Johnny Storm. So there we go. So right, so it's stuck in the gravity drive room now, and stuff's setting on fire. And then we see, he catches fire as well. So he rolls into all this water that's there for some reason, puts himself out. But then Edmund Corrick appears again, says, "Look, you're not Edmund Corrick. I watched him die." And then Edmund Corrick turns into Weir / Sam Neill. But got his eyes back. He's got all these stuff carved, pardon me, into his face. A bit like in that Satan Pit Doctor Who thing. And he says the ship brought him back. She didn't want him to leave. So they have a little fight. Shows him what's going to happen to his crew. He's already seen this. He saw it when he put his head up against the bulkhead, didn't he? And we've seen all this before. He said, I've seen this before. It's a repeat. But there we go. We see more gruesome stuff in the background. There we go. And some maggots. We did see some maggots. There we go. He says, no, they're still alive. That's what he says. They're still alive. So he fights back, and he picks up one of the CO2 scrubber tube things and gives him a good hiding with it, but not for long, because he's super strong. Throws him and kicks him, and so they're not your crew anymore. They belong to the ship. But he sees the detonator, and he grabs it. Has he got it yet? Oh, let me see. I'll get the detonator. He's going to reach through that. I've got to show it, because he's going to reach through the flames in a minute. Why? By the way, yes, the gravity drive is activated. The Stargate is opening. There we go. He's reaching through. He sees the detonator there, and he's reaching through the flames. And he actually did this himself, did Lawrence Fishburne. They're actually real flames, not CG. He said they reached through. They put him, that flame retardant gel on, so he didn't catch fire or get burnt. So he did that himself. Good for him. And he blows up the central corridor. Meat's back on the menu, boys. It's nearly time for me to watch those. I always watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, extended editions, of course, round about this time of year, the run up to Christmas. When the nights start drawing in, that's the time for me to watch Lord of the Rings. Anyway, that's by the by. So he blows up sets off the explosives. There we go. So now he's trapped. He's trapped in the gravity drive room, isn't he, with Weir? So obviously he's going to go to hell then, isn't he? He's Miller. But it all blows up. There we go. And the forward section is propelled forwards before the explosion. I actually like this effect. I presume it's CG. I don't actually know. Or maybe it's just some weird effect from the... I don't know. It looks like CG, doesn't it? But cool. And the front section is pushed forward to safety. But there we go. The rear section, the drive section, see the black hole opens up, and there we go, and it there we go, gets sucked in to the black hole or pulled into whatever. Probably a good chunk of Neptune goes with them, I should imagine, and all that debris. They've gone. Where have they gone? Don't know. Have they gone to the other dimension? Have they gone to Proxima Centauri? Who knows? Who knows? But they've gone. Will we ever see Miller again? But they're safe now. And then she says, Miller, because reminding us that Miller's still alive. Then we go 72 days later, and then we have this. There we go. We see the front section of the Event Horizon. Remember how big it was compared to the Lewis and Clark when we saw, the first met each other. Then we see this big shadow come over. Come on, frame. How big's this rescue ship? It must be huge. We cast that shadow over the Event Horizon. Why did they send that ship to start with? Anyway, so they come on board. And has each ship got its own design of spacesuits? Must have. So these fellas come on board with their. Paul W.S. Anderson said that he wanted them to look like samurai. Everybody's obsessed with Japan these days. Anyway, they see they're still alive. So they get Jolie Richardson out. There she is. And she gets up. And then he opens up his faceplate. Oh, hang on, I've gone too far. And it's him. It's weird, but it's all, it's another fake scare, another dream. Lewis and Clark is much faster than the big ship. Well, I don't know. Well, must be because 72 days. Well, it took them 56 days to get there, didn't it, in the Lewis and Clark? So, yeah, 16 days, whatever, faster. Whatever. Anyway, right, but it's another fake scare. She wakes up properly. She's safe. They're all safe, or are they? Don't know. The door closes. Does that mean they're safe, or is that door closing meaning that something's still on what's left of the Event Horizon? Don't know, because that's the end of the film. Then we listen to the Prodigy. It says the end. It's a bit final, isn't it? Then the Prodigy's playing for some reason. I don't know the song. I'm not into the Prodigy. But there we go. It's the end of the film. Cool film. It's one of those few films that, I can watch any time. And it's not too long. I know there was a longer cut, which I'd like to see, but apparently it doesn't exist anymore. Apparently there's a VHS version that Jeremy Bolt, the producer's got, that he said he found of the original, the work print maybe or something. I don't know. But apparently it's not, it won't be very good condition. It won't be like, if it's a VHS version, it won't be particularly good quality, will it? But anyway, I forgot what I was saying now. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, it's a good film. Let's say it's only like just over an hour and a half, in an hour and 35 minutes or something. And you don't get bored. It don't give you time to get bored with it, does it? It rattles through the story from beginning to end. Anyway, I'll make myself big. There we go. Joshua says the soundtrack is really good. Yes, well, yes, it's good. Apart from the Prodigy, I'm not into the Prodigy. I would like more of this universe or something in a similar style. Well, yeah, let's say it's a believable universe, isn't it? Let's say it's like The Expanse, or as you said, Babylon 5, or Blade Runner, Alien. It's that sort of feel, isn't it? It's got that sort of feel. Well, they're supposed to be doing a show. Were they? Oh, I haven't heard that. An Event Horizon show. That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. It'd be nice to see if the drive section reappeared after another 7 years. See what's happened with Miller. But anyway. Right. Not that Prodigy. A different Prodigy. Anyway. So there we go. So that's the end of Event Horizon. A great film. Really good, really good. And, and I wish it could have been gorier, to be honest. Even though it is quite gruesome in places, I would like to see a little bit more. And it angered me listening to the commentary where they were saying, originally, we had this really, really gory. And we pulled out all the stops to have it super gruesome. And the test audiences were too squeamish, essentially. Tisk. Anyway, right. So we'll leave it there. We will leave it there. What's happening next? What day are we on? Friday. So Sunday will be my new stream. Next Monday is where have I put it? Hang on. Magnificent Mondays. Where have I put the bloody thing? Bear with me. Just bear with me. Here we go. Next Monday on Magnificent Mondays is Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow. Love that film. It's amazing. It's amazing. And then next Friday, as I said, we're doing Friday the 13th, part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. I love that film. I don't know why. I know it's rubbish. I just love it. Anyway, imagine they have giant Catholic Church ships flying in space in the sequel to this. Yeah. All the ships are based on cathedrals. Like this one based on Notre Dame. I have another one based on St. Paul's Cathedral. Something like that. It'd be weird. It'd be weird. Right, so we'll leave it there. So thanks, Wingrace and Joshua Kanapke and Josh Temple popped in as well, didn't he? And Archmage Frey, that mysterious man from Twitch, he popped in as well. We also had one right at the beginning. I don't think they watched the show. I think they were just after a follow on on Twitch. Ben Wilson 75844. But you never know. If you did watch all the way through, Ben, welcome and thank you. But thanks to Wingate, thanks to all the Joshes. I wouldn't have a show without. Well, I would. It just wouldn't be as long, and I'd just rattle through it. It won't be as good. Anyway, so yes, thank you. You have a great weekend. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. And I hope you do too. Right, I'm going to go now because I've got to order some food for that lad upstairs and myself. I'm going to have a curry. I just fancy one, and I've got to get it ordered actually because the time's moving on. It's 11:15 at night. So, thanks for watching. Don't have nightmares. And until next time, I hope I don't see that shadow person again. That genuinely spooked me out. I did actually see it. Some, shadow peeking around the door. Anyway, right. So I'll have nightmares. Hope you don't. Until next time, I'll see you.